Good morning, everybody. We're coming online to love. We're coming online to joy. We're coming online to peace. We're coming online to abundance. We're getting clear about who we are and what we want to manifest in the world. We are getting crystal clear about who we are and what we want to manifest on the planet today and every day. Some people want to manifest nonsense. Some people want to manifest chaos and confusion. Some people like to act confused when they're not confused. I'll tell you one thing I'm not confused about this morning. I'm not confused about the fact that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. And there's no confusion about that. And the sooner that your days begin to reflect that truth, and like I said, this is not performing in pictures online. This is not saying you're fine when you're not fine. This is not pretending to be okay when your life is falling apart. This is coming online to real joy, real love, and real peace. And it is possible. Peace is possible. We do not have to war with ourselves and with one another. In fact, that's not necessary at all because I found personally that it's just a bunch of wasted energy to be at war with myself. Anybody else know about those moments where you're having conversations about someone or with someone in your head and they're not even around? So many of us do these things. I do this myself from time to time. I have a preoccupation or overstimulated concern. An overstimulated concern with other people's lives and their flow. I want to invite you this afternoon to focus on your flow. Focus on your flow. If you focus on your flow, if you continue to be a loved and lovable human, if you continue to be, as the Buddha says, basically good, you're going to find the word ceasefire inside you. You're going to find a mirror and be able to say to yourself, I'm loved and lovable. I've always been loved and lovable, and I'm always going to be loved and lovable. I'm imperfectly perfect, whole, and complete, exactly as I am. And I have everything in my hands right now to make my own miracle. I don't have to wait on anybody else to bring a miracle to me because I am my own miracle. And I'm calling in the help and the strength and the appreciation and the aid of everything and everyone around me. This morning's card is all about the subconscious mind. For those of you who are joining in on multiple platforms, good morning to Facebook. I think for sure Instagram and YouTube and TikTok are in the room this morning. We're going to use the card of the subconscious mind to ground our life lessons. I hope that something that's said in the next 30 minutes or so is of a blessing to you, and hopefully it will fill your cup so that you'll be able to give from your overflow into the world. Remember, a lot of activists and light workers like myself, I'll say myself in the past, very, very depleted by this work. I was very, very worn out daily, very agitated, very exhausted in this work until I realized that it's not my business to convince you that peace and love and joy is possible. I simply just need to show up when I show up and just be that. And you'll look through my social media right now, not to prove anything to you because I have nothing to prove, protect, hide, or defend, but you'll see that I'm putting more joyful pictures out. And I'm sharing with you aspects of joy in my life because at the end of the day, joy is an act of resistance. You all can't make me frown today like you. And that is the resistance, right? The resistance is all about finding how to be peaceful around chaos, how to find joy in the midst of suffering and not let it take you under. Do not let the negativity and the nonsense of this world take you under. At least do your best to keep one nostril out of the water. And as a person who has for many years lived here and kept one nostril out of the water, I know that you can do it. I know that you can do it if you want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, then you're going to have exactly the life that you believe you deserve. And I won't feel that mood swing. I won't feel that agitation. And I certainly won't feel that pain inside myself because I've been working with my subconscious mind. Consonants matter. All consonants matter. Consonants' lives matter. So I've been working with my subconscious mind to come into agreement with the life and the good I want. Now remember, my life and my good and the things that bring me joy and peace and happiness may or may not look like the same things for you. So it's important that you find the things that bring you your own joy. As much as I have been coming out online encouraging people for the last 12 plus years, there are those who simply won't receive it into their conscious or subconscious minds, and that's unfortunate for them. It's unfortunate for them. If you woke up this morning and you're determined to have an awful day, there's really nothing that I can do about it. Even as a light worker, a healer, a joy professional, a person who professionally brings joy to the planet through the arts and entertainment, if you are convinced within yourself that I'm not the guy for you to bring joy, if you are convinced within yourself that peace is not possible inside and out, if you are not living the fruits of a happy life, guess what? That's on you, playa. Because every day, death and life lies in the power of your tongue. Every day, death and life lies in the power of your thoughts. Thoughts become things, so choose them wisely. So for those of you who hang around long enough and can stand in the fire alongside those of us who are really putting our livelihoods and our lives on the line for what is right, for those of you who show up as often as you can to Love in Action Network, also formerly known as Love City Arts, remember that? We've been doing the work for years to get our minds right. Now, there will be people in your life who will come along and try to take you off your path. There will be people who will try to become the center of your story. Perhaps some of you may think, even though it's not true at all, that I'm trying to become the center of your story, your narrative, or somehow take over your life. That's not possible. For years now here in the newly formed Love in Action Network, we've been working on our minds. We run a 7-day-a-week mental health practice, 7-day-a-week encouragement platform, 7-day-a-week yes you can. And this is the reason why none of you all can talk your shit to me ever. Because every day I'm here either expressing love and joy or trying to encourage other people to do the same. Teaching you to recognize your subconscious and conscious mind. Because if you are stinking thinking today, you're going to have a stinking life. Now, as a person who has been depressed or was depressed for most of my life, I understand exactly what you're going through. You're not going to find me these days being Pollyanna. You're not going to find me these days attempting to convince you that shit doesn't stink when it does. They blew up, and by they, I mean Israeli Zionists and the Israeli war machine blew up humanitarian workers from the UN seeking to feed hungry people. Now, none of you listening to me today probably are going to be hungry. None of you listening to me today, and this is the reason why none of you can talk to me, and I've cut off all channels of communication unless you pay me or I feel like talking to you. The reason why I'm not talking to anybody right now but my partners and my team sometimes, is because you all don't seem to have ever been hungry in your lives. Because the UN humanitarian workers are trying to get food and serve people who have not eaten for quite some time. And the fact that we look away while sitting on top of our bananas and oatmeal and strawberries and muffins and fish and rice and asparagus and all these things I've eaten this week, it's quite nonsensical. And so I'm not going to carry on as business as usual with any of you because you're telling on yourselves, and frankly, I don't feel safe. I've given safety to myself. I sleep very well at night, but I don't feel safe being in conversations with people who ignore the obvious. I don't feel safe with any of you. Oh, but Dr. Flo, I gave you $20 in 1979. Oh, Dr. Flo, I sent you this. Oh, Dr. Flo, what about the kind words I said to you? Oh, Dr. Flo, what about the like stones? Oh, Dr. Flo, we're in collaboration, aren't we? I have nothing to say to you. I literally have nothing to say to you because you witness children, women, men, and even animals starve, and it does not register to you. You want to talk about silly things, and I'm not interested in talking about silly things. And so please, by all means, find some silly friends and find silly people, they're everywhere, to talk to about the things you want to talk to, because unless it's about radical change, radical adjustment, radical love being poured out into the world, radical ceasefire, unless you want to talk about those things, I'm not responding to you. You can he and ha over there. Because what we're doing here is trying to get your subconscious and conscious mind right so you can stand up for something instead of being one of those sheeple all over the planet. Now, we are seeing every weekend demonstrations all over the country and all over the world, but you all are driving by those demonstrations or thumbing past them on the feed, or some of you have muted me and my voice. And that's fine, because there's someone like me in every community who is willing and able to light you the fuck up. There's someone in every community who is sick and tired of the bullshit, and they are ready to meet you with your nonsense. So you can keep whispering in your corners, you can keep sending text messages to your private pals to discuss this in private, but eventually an activist like myself is going to meet you on your doorstep. And we're going to be asking you who you are. We're going to be asking you what you stand for. And those of you who stand for silence, and those of you who stand with genocide in your silence, you're going to look very foolish in the end, because you have children. You have spouses and partners. You have family and friends, and you are committed to them not starving. I nearly starved here myself, but some of you are committed to people not starving. And especially those who do not look like me, you will answer and you will atone. You will answer for this negligence of the human heart, and you will atone. You will atone. You will eventually, a lot of you skate by on social media because we live in different states, and you don't come to my live streams on purpose. But eventually, I'm going to see you knock on my door, or I'm going to see you in the driveway, or I'm going to see you at the shops in town, or I'm going to see you in the grocery store. And I'm going to ask you about yourself. And you will tell me, or you will run away as you always do. But the days of having shit on our shoes and not saying something stinks is over. Because some of us, even in messiness, some of us have been purifying our conscious minds and also dealing with the stuff behind the scenes that's running the show. Just to teach the lesson, the conscious mind is the obvious. I'm holding a book. I have a phone. I'm live streaming right now. The subconscious mind is the part of our brains where we've made agreements about how we feel about black people, how we feel about Palestinian people, how we feel about anybody that's other than us in appearance or thought. We've made those decisions, and now that's kind of running and playing in the back of our minds. And you may be able to fake it until you make it, which is a statement. I hate that shit. Someone said it to me the other day, and I just stopped the conversation. I do not believe in fake it till you make it. Y'all are fake enough. Y'all are pretty fucking fake. So I don't believe in fake it till you make it. I believe in taking action. I believe in purifying your conscious and subconscious mind and seeing what's really going on behind the scenes of my mind that's making me not call for ceasefire. What's going on in the recesses of my mind that's not causing me to be more loving towards my neighbor? Why do I only care about my kids and my family, but the families of other people who don't look like me, I don't care about? And you all are hiding in plain sight. There are people in my community even who are hiding in plain sight. Your sins will find you out. What's done in the wash will come out in the rinse. You will look foolish if you don't get on the side of love. Throughout our generational experience, throughout the history of us as humans, there's always been this kind of situation. So I'm not even alarmed by it anymore. When it came time to give black people their freedom, there are people who were on board, and then there were you people. When it came time to give women the rights to vote, there were people who said, of course, women are humans. They deserve the right to vote. Then there were you people. When it came time for queer people to get married and to pledge their love and get the tax benefits that all of you fucking muggle breeders get, there were people who wanted that to happen. And then there were people who stood against it. And so I'm no longer concerned with debating what is right and righteous. That everyone on the planet should be happy, healthy, and free from all suffering, including the hunger that you in vehicles get bombed for. I'm not debating the news with y'all. I'm not going back and forth. You've not seen me in years go back and forth with a white supremacist. You've not seen me go back and forth with someone who's political. I have no interest in proving to you that the people in the red hats are legitimately crazy. I don't have to disprove or prove that. I'm asking you all, who are you? Who are you? And from the receipts of what I see and hear, you're still trying to figure out a lot of things, and that's fine. That's fine. I realize that subconscious beliefs or programs may be holding me back from my desires, including freedom for Palestine. For example, if I want money, I may have been told things growing up that I am subconsciously holding on to. So I go back to my past and release beliefs that no longer align, substituting them with ones that do. Once again, somewhere in our childhood, somewhere in our journey, we were told to not speak up for something that's right. Maybe you spoke up for something that was right and you lost a Broadway contract. Maybe you spoke up for what was right and your family and friends turned their back on you and stopped supporting you in your work. Maybe you spoke up for what was right and you were cast out of your Christian home. Maybe you got frustrated from speaking love to the planet and people trying to treat it like it was no big deal when love is the biggest deal there is. And every light worker is going to have to overcome those past beliefs that made us feel unsafe. I think I've told the story in here before of when my dear friend Harlan, who was a non-problematic Jewish person, he killed himself many years ago. And I was in the middle of a contract singing professionally in Virginia, and I was broken up because getting a text message in your rehearsals that one of your friends who loved you and supported you. The last time I saw Harlan, I was an elf at Macy's and he came to visit me in Santa Land. Receiving a text that your friend is no longer on this side of the planet, not because of some kind of accident or something that happened that could be prevented, but that he took his own life. When you're struggling with those things as well, at that time in my life, very, very heavy. And I was told by someone who did not look like me in the cast that I should stop crying and stop whimpering because no one, especially the directors, cared about how I felt that day. That we were there to sing and dance and act, but we were not there to feel. And that I should just hush up and push through rehearsals. And a lot of you right now are doing the same thing. You're pushing through life. You look like shit. Y'all look busted as hell. Because you're trying to fake it until you make it, like that young lady asked me to do. Or you're trying to push through these uncomfortable emotions that are not going to go away until people stop dying in Palestine. And you're wearing the uncomfortable emotions and the discomfort of this lived experience that we all share. You're wearing it on your faces. And so because of that experience of having my friend die by suicide and not being able to own my emotions, I programmed my subconscious mind that when bad things happen or when there's death and destruction or a lack of love, I should not speak up. Same thing happens in my corporate background that I come from, where there is a legitimate concern. But we've been programmed as humans to not voice those concerns. We're to protect those in leadership. We're actually brainwashed to align with those in power instead of speaking up for what is right. So after 20 plus years of being outside of my parents' house and living in the world, yeah, you do feel like your job is on the line. Yeah, you do feel like you're going to lose all your friends. Yeah, you do feel like you're going to lose all your professional affiliations for speaking up for love. And as a witness, baby, if it happened to me, it can happen to you. And I know these are legitimate concerns when you have family that's depending on you and things like that, but there are deeper aspects of our humanity. There are deeper aspects of our humanity, and we work together every day in this particular network, popular or unpopular, to deal with the stinking thinking, to deal with these ideas that we have that black and brown people do not matter, to deal with these ideas that we have that genocide is just something that happens in the world, that bombs being dropped on black and brown people, anywhere from Black Wall Street to yesterday in Palestine, we collectively on some level believe that that shit's okay. And it's not okay. And while I'm not at your dinner table yet, I will, or someone like me will be at your dinner table. And they're going to tell you the fuck off about yourself because you deserve it. Eventually, I'll be sitting next to you in the office. What up, Majid? Welcome, Majid. Nothing gets by me. Eventually, I'll be sitting by you in your corporate office, lighting people up who do not look like me, asking for my motherfucking raise because it's the right thing to do. So come out wherever you are, light workers, or deal with the wrath of people who do not give a fuck about your feelings when it comes to the maintenance of nonsense. And Majid can tell you from corporate, I let those white people have it as often as I could. I let them have it let's go to HR and talk about it. And that's the kind of situation that's happening in the world, where some of us are sick and tired of bombs being dropped. Some of us are tired of our community members not having access to food. There are people in the community here, 13,000. I'm currently on hiatus from New York City and North Carolina. I'm in the mountains. There are 13,000 people in this particular location who do not know what they're going to have for dinner. So I feel for them the same way that I do for the people of Palestine. And I want to ask the people in power who don't often look like me, who are y'all? What do you stand for? Does love mean anything to you? But see, we cannot include people in their hunger in our story because we're having issues defining the good that is diversity, equity, and inclusion work. We don't want to include people here in the States. So, of course, the people having bombs dropped on them in Palestine would not be included. Things like woke, things like diversity, equity, and inclusion. When I was in corporate with Majid, I had to check them on the ways in which they were doing diversity, equity, and inclusion work. Because putting a black man, you remember this, Majid? Putting a black man in cuffs on a PowerPoint in front of a few hundred people will always be inappropriate to me. And yes, we have to walk and chew gum at the same time. They decided that they wanted to be good white people. And they wanted to do diversity, equity, inclusion work for the whole department, for the whole building. We all had to go through this mandatory DEI training. This filthy word, diversity. Oh, equity. Oh, inclusion. Oh. And I go to the training that I knew was going to be some bullshit. And I saw a black man in cuffs. There was nobody else to put in cuffs that day. On the PowerPoint, diversity, equity, and inclusion being presented by a white man in power. Y'all gonna have to change that PowerPoint. So I called into the Canadian leadership of the whole firm and said, where did y'all get this nonsense? I know that it's not authorized that a black man is in cuffs in front of hundreds of people here at this engineering firm. I know that's inappropriate. I know we're not trying to perpetuate the thought here that black people should be always seen as being people in chains. You will remove that picture from the PowerPoint now. And my boss and his boss's boss and nobody there liked it. They did not like it. that I was telling the white man in power, teaching me diversity, equity, and inclusion, that he was inappropriate. They removed that photo from the PowerPoint. I went back and took the training again so they would remove that photo from the PowerPoint. Because I told them that there are white people in here, in the firm, who are ignorant, and they will actually make a subconscious program that black people are a threat because you showed them on a PowerPoint. And there were hundreds of people in that building, multiple floors, Fifth Avenue, baby. And they were brainwashing them into this idea that whenever they saw my black ass on the elevator, they'd make a correlation. They would make a correlation. It's called a correlative effect for you educated people. They would make the correlation that the black man that they saw in their diversity, equity, and inclusion training was somehow the same as me. And they would treat me weird by the copier because over lunch, they saw a black man in chains. I ain't having it. I ain't having it. We are reprogramming our subconscious minds. And I could not have them do that. I realize that subconscious beliefs or programs may be holding me back from my desires. For example, if I want money, I may have been told things growing up that I'm subconsciously holding on to. You know? One of my subconscious thoughts is to not trust whitey. My father, for many reasons, taught me to not trust people who are different than me. So I know that you all were taught it because I was taught it. So somewhere in the subconscious of my mind, I don't even reach for my biggest opportunities because I'm distrustful of people that don't look like me. Well, guess what? I have to work with everybody in order to do my work. So the subconscious thought that I was told growing up that you should not trust white people, and trust me, some of them are not very trustworthy at all and should be asked what side of freedom and justice they stand on. They should be asked to their faces, who are you and what are you doing to help everybody? But I have to release that subconscious thought as well, actively. I have to actively release the thought that anyone different than me is somehow harmful. I have to release it today, I had to release it yesterday, and I'll have to release it tomorrow. I'll have to go back to my past and release beliefs that are no longer in alignment and substitute them with new ideas. So we gather every day to talk about new ideas. New ideas. What if we could do something different than bombing UN humanitarian envoys, blowing up the food and the people trying to serve starving Palestinians? Y'all are a special kind of evil. Y'all are a special, special kind of evil. And it will not stand. Any idea that Israel was holy, any idea that Israel is special, any idea that they are chosen has been determined in public sight to be a lie. They are not special. They are not chosen. They are evil. They are evil. And they will have to heal themselves and be healed in order for it to resolve. For all of the strangers, I know there's strangers in the room. I don't really know any of you like that because there's a thing in society called masking, and you all, oh, this is from Tara. It goes on the wall. Tara says, beyond the driveway, boo-boo, in 2024. I already moved beyond the driveway. It's a lie and a kind of a bullshit idea that I don't move beyond the driveway. I know what she's talking about, but my reach is very, very far. That's why y'all duck and dive, because I'm quite potent. I've been moving beyond the driveway the whole time. But that's her note. It'll go on the superfan wall with the rest of the notes. But we have this thing in society, and it's a psychological principle called masking. Masking is when you know you're having a bad day, and someone asks you how you're doing, and you say, I'm fine. That's masking. When someone, you get it. Y'all get it. So because of that, I don't know any of you beyond what you share with me. And you don't know anything about me beyond what I share with you because of the mask that we all wear. As Angie would say from my super fan club, every day is Halloween, Dr. Flo. And that's true. Every day is Halloween. And some of us have dropped the mask. Can't you tell? I don't have a mask for you. You all have not done anything in my life to make me want to impress you. And I'm certainly not trying to, be that kind of energy. But this spell is for strangers, comrades, and friends working for social and or environmental justice and liberation. And trust me, every day these days, I quit all of my jobs. I left the firm with Majid. I left everything behind, Broadway, large stages, all of that, to give my life to speaking the truth for those who are underfoot. To speak up for those who are being bombed when all they want is rice. I saw the video of the people with the rice and beans before their lives got taken from them for being good. It was not steak. It was not shrimp. It was not filet. It was not any of that. It was rice and simple legumes and things. And the evil that is Israel took that. And it's not okay. You are a miracle in motion. I greet you with wonder in a world which seeks to own your joy and your imagination. You have chosen to be free every day as a practice, and I can never know the struggles you went through to get here, but I know you have swum upstream, and at times it has been lonely. I want you to know that I honor the choices you made in solitude, and I honor the work you've done to belong. I honor your commitment to that which is larger than yourself, and your journey to love the particular vessel of life that is you. You are enough. Your work is enough. You are needed. Your work is sacred. You are here, and I am grateful. Once again, folks, you don't have to yell or jump or you don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to convince anybody that hungry people should eat. You don't have to convince anybody that innocent people should live. We're done convincing these assholes. We're done convincing these assholes. Okay? We're pulling the weeds up by the root. We're examining the root system of this thing. We see that it's racism. We see that it's capitalism. We see that it's othering to death. There's nothing to debate anymore. We're looking for people who want to get involved in the fight for freedom. We're looking for people who want to donate to the causes that we stand for. We're looking for people who want to lock arms with us and to call for deeper manifestations of love. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for those who are saying yes to love. Fuck those people, and I mean that with my whole chest. Fuck those people who want to debate about whether Republicans and Democrats are on the right side of life. I don't even have those arguments anymore. I'm not going to debate you about the virtues of Democrats over Republicans or the virtues of Republicans over Democrats. They're both evil. They are both evil. So if you're trying to get me to buy into this red versus blue thing, it's not going to work because they both are evil. We have active life loss and a lack of care of humanity under both white authorities. Do not ask me to subscribe to evil authority. Even in this community in my life, I left New York City to take a breather before going back into the fire of the experience. And even here, people ask me to align with bullshit. Even here, they ask me to submit to evil authority. I will submit. I don't have an issue with submission. But I will not answer to evil authority. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I will give honor to life. I will give honor to love. I will embrace those who are embraceable. But I will not bow down to evil authority. Democrat, Republican, Zionist, white supremacist, I will not bow down to evil authority. I will pull these roots up and look at them. At some point today, I'm going to repost it because it's important. There's an ethnography of alleged white people. We've worked for them, we've reported to them, we have put up with their games long enough. They will have to determine which kind of alleged white person they are under the ethnography. Are they a white supremacist? Are they a white benefit? Are they a white traitor? Just go to my socials. I share it every few days because, like I said, it's not on me to prove shit to them anymore. Majid was in here earlier. I did that in corporate, trying to make myself good enough and worthy for these people who are not trying to benefit me. In fact, they're trying to stand in the way of the success. And so now the question goes, why are you standing in the way of my success? No, like, am I a good enough singer? No, am I a good enough speaker? Not, can I read well enough? Am I well read or well spoken or good enough? None of this, am I good enough? Who the fuck are you? What do you stand for? Why do I see you out in the Hamptons every weekend with all white people? That's your business. But when you come back into reality, are you doing anything for my black ass? And are you holding leaders accountable? There's another thing I only got like 15 minutes on the clock, but there is one more thing that I want to talk about this morning before I finish my readings and everything I'm supposed to do. They are our elected officials, and they ignore us. On the so-called right and left, they are so-called beholden to us. They are elected by us. They are supposed to be doing the things that we say. Instead, they're sending bombs to the Middle East, as they always have. I'll never forget the look in Majid's eyes, having been a child under bombardment. It lingers with me. It lingers with me. I've talked about this before when he stopped by. It lingers with me. The look in his eyes in our cubicle, sharing about him having bombs dropped on his country as a child. And now I'm thinking about the thousands of children in Gaza who now have that feeling inside of them. Where the fuck is y'all's humanity? Let me pull the weed up by the root and notice the soil that I stand on. Is this a necessary vitriol? Is this what I choose now to rant on? Is there nothing to build and nothing to grow? No more to offer up, nothing to know? Is there a way now that I could let go? Can I look in the mirror and love me more? Remember, this activism work, child, you have to take care of yourself. I'm an activist and a light worker and a healer and a musician who takes care of myself. Because if you don't take care of yourself in this work, in this fight for love, in this fight for truth, if you don't take care of yourself, you will fall apart. Because there's so much to heal. Let's get into the text. Last week's theme was right on the money. We worked through 52 weeks of conscious contact. It's an emotional wellness program that I take the community through. This is our third year of going through this emotional wellness program together. And I'm not going to stop, because being attuned to your emotional wellness allows for you to share more love in the world. People who are disassociated and disconnected from their humanity and their hearts will ignore a genocide. We know this to be true. We also know from last week that crazy people make us crazy. And that's also true. This week we are focusing on laughter. Let's read my contribution to the whole. Thank you to everybody in Love and Action Network who's hanging in there, doing the work of love. Even though it's not really, I mean, I don't want to seem ungrateful at all for the contributors, but we are barely scratching the surface. And sometimes in the past, I'm not saying that's happening now, but in the past, some people acted like it was just so much work. And in the past, people acted as if I was bothering them to participate in collaboration. Y'all are not really doing much. You know, me coming out here for the last 48 minutes, while it is something, there's so much more that I can do and will do. So don't be holding your favors over my head, girl, guy, they, them, whomever you are, because there's so much more work to be done, and we do it here every day. And when you all drift off into your very, very busy lives, some of us are still sitting here contributing. Once again, that's not me pissing over what we're doing. It's just that, like, don't get ahead of yourself, because this is just 1 hour of 24 hours where they drop bombs. And we cannot stop calling other people into this freedom and liberation vibe, no matter how long it takes. One thing I will say to you all is that I don't see this as a 25-minute situation. I know that the work that I'm doing is not going to be settled in 25 minutes, which is about how long that some of the audience has hung with me today. I know that this work will not be done in 25 days for me. And even though I've got a 25-year plan ahead of me for where I see myself personally as an artist going and the work that I'm collaborating and doing, I also know that this work is going to reach beyond 25 years because lunatics and lunacy runs amok. This week's theme is laughter. Day 2. I went to see a therapist a few months after my son's death. This is Melody Beatty, who is a 12-stepper. She comes through Alcoholics Anonymous and also Narcotics Anonymous, but the teachings that she gives in 52 Weeks of Conscious Contact apply to any human's life. And some of you really like to complain more than make a change, but we don't really abide a lot of complaining here, which is why I don't have a lot of followers and friends. And that's okay, because you cannot knock on my door and complain about your life unless you're prepared to go serve somebody lentils. You cannot knock on my door and complain to me unless you're prepared to do another live stream today, right? You can't just show up on TikTok on a couple days a week for Love and Action Network and that be okay for me to, allow you to complain. Okay? You just can't. It's not good enough. You are enough, but it's not good enough. So for those of you who, and this, like I said, this is why I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of family around me. It gets kind of, thin, because the price you're going to pay me for complaining to me about anything is doing more work for me or doing more work for the causes that I champion and support. And if you're not prepared, like I said yesterday, to put up or shut up, you're not going to be around me or in conversation with me. Some of y'all, even in network, have noticed that, I'm downwind unless you got something positive or productive upwind to say. Otherwise, it's been very, very he. Even my colleague from many years ago was coming in here talking today, and he gave a bunch of roses, and I just didn't pay attention to it. Because I'm going to need to see him more in the fight. So coming to me and talking once every 3 months ain't going to get it. And small talking me in my DMs, I don't care about that either. I went to see a therapist a few months after my son's death. He listened to my story and carefully explained how the grieving process would take time and how I wasn't going to feel happy or even comfortable for a while. He explained there wasn't a lot I could do to change my situation, speed things up, or dull the pain. But there's one thing that's crucial, he said, and you must start doing it right away. What's that, I asked. Remember the law of humor, he said. Remember to let yourself laugh. We don't want to make fun of other people's circumstances. We don't want to mask pain with false laughter. Remember earlier I was talking about masking. And once again, for those of you just beginning your journey, beginning your light worker journey, beginning your activist journey, starting to align with your personal freedom principle. For those of you who are doing that, first of all, remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And also just know that there's a thing called masking in our society. I don't do it very well. But what does it look like in plain terms? It's someone asking you how you're doing, or someone asking you what you need, and your life is falling to shit, and you still say, I'm fine. It looks like you going and disappearing in the bathroom for hours in conflict, only to blow your nose, sometimes audibly, and then come out and say, nothing's wrong, even though there's tears in your eyes. Masking. Oh, here's another one that I used to do. Hiding for 3, 4, 5 days and weeks at a time from people. Hiding from the internet. Hiding from my work. hiding from my commitments. Because sometimes hiding is the mask. Sometimes not doing your life's work and assignment is the mask. Sure, you're not necessarily telling someone you're fine when you're not fine, so you just stop showing up altogether so that people don't see that you're really in pain. Back to the text. Remember the law of humor. Remember to let yourself laugh. We don't want to make fun of other people's circumstances, and we don't want to mask pain with false laughter, but no matter what circumstance we're going through, laughter isn't just optional, it's essential. Humor is a law. The application of this week's principle of laughter is whenever we can't remember the last time we laughed, it's time to do it. I laugh every day. Even though the text says to not laugh at other people or make fun, I do. I think the ways in which we as a collective and you all as individuals continue to argue for your limitations, the ways in which you all play dumb, that is one of the funniest things y'all do. And some of you are doing it subconsciously, which is even funnier because I'm like, do these people know that they're trying to play me? But they would never own it. I would never. Dr. Flo, Dre, fuck that guy, whatever you want to call me today. But I laugh at you all online and in your faces every day. And it's not necessarily me making fun of other people's circumstances or your circumstances. It's just like, it's laughable and very humorous that you all don't see but even worse than that, I especially laugh when you all can see and then you play dumb. That shit's funny. And the way that appears for me in real time, and I put it in the blast that I put out earlier today to all of the super fans and the network. Every time y'all tell me that you miss me, I laugh in your faces. Every time you tell me you miss me, I laugh. And it happens daily. Loved and lovable. But you don't miss me. You're avoidant to growth and change. You don't miss me. You do not miss me. You are avoidant to growth and change. Day 3 of 52 weeks of conscious contact with Melody Beatty. We are in week 14, laughter. Go ahead, have a good laugh. Woo! Have a good laugh. See? Nothing about laughing is hard. It reminds me of, there's a group on Clubhouse, an audio-only app, where all they do is open rooms and giggle all day. It's called the laughing meditation, or like a laughing practice. And they just... and they just laugh for hours. And it is contagious. That joy is contagious. All right. The last place where I'll land, and I think that this particular feed is trying to go down over on TikTok. The last place I'll land is over in our chakra system. Yeah, they're trying to silence the unstoppable. Yes. So, But love is not stoppable, y'all. Like, you will eventually, like I told y'all earlier, and it wasn't a threat, it was more of a promise. You will eventually encounter at your office, on the street, at church, you're eventually going to rendezvous with someone like myself, who is not going to smile and nod at you about the nonsense. They're going to ask you, who are you and what are you doing for freedom and liberation of othered people? And you should see the looks on people's faces in the community when I ask them, oh, it's so good to see you too. Oh my God, you look amazing. Oh, thank you. I smell great. Wonderful. What are you doing for liberation? Oh, I see the young black kid in your social media promo. Do you love on black men? I see the young black boy on your social media reading a book. But do you support the men they become? I see you saying that you're open and affirming community of all people. But do you really support my black ass? I see that your refrigerator magnet says that you give extravagant welcomes to people, but why do you unlock the doors on Sunday morning when my black ass shows up to come in? I see that it says expect extravagant welcomes here. But why do I hear the doors unlocking before I step into the building? You will answer and you will atone. You will answer and you will atone. And for me, atonement means at one meant. That's how I break down that word in my street preacher philosophy. Atonement for me means that you will become back at one with the good of humanity. People are not going to let you trample them. People are not going to allow you, as you've been doing to me, to play in their faces and not call bullshit on your love. You will atone. You will. Today is Solar Plexus Chakra Day. It's all about your confidence. It's all about your perception of control. It's all about your energetic wellness. As you can see that I'm a confident person. We talked sometime recently about the butterflies that people feel in their stomachs when public speaking or speaking up for themselves. If you hang out with people who have done the work around their solar plexus chakra, as I have, and some of you don't believe in chakras at all, some of you don't believe in anything. But the solar plexus chakra gives me a way to tap into that part of my body, my upper abdomen, my stomach. It's a part that actors, singers, performers, humans, you're going to ask someone out on a date, right? You want to ask somebody out on a date. You want to ask for a raise. You want to sing your favorite song at karaoke. You want to introduce yourself or your business as someone who can fund you. You may not call it your solar plexus chakra, but you're going to need to be confident. You're going to need to have a positive perception of control in your life. You're going to need to tap into energetic wellness. I do not think this is an easy thing because it's taken me years. Personally, it's taken me years to become this confident. It's taken me years to have a positive expectation about the control in my life. It's taken me years to stand, as the kids say, 10 toes down on my energetic wellness. It's taken me years to have a complete room of people who are watching me, right? There are people who watch me all the time in this particular time slot and watch me in life. It's taken me years to have the room completely drop to zero. Remember, they came, they gave the roses, they came, they gave the comments, they came to watch, and now the whole room dropped to zero because we live very, very busy adult lives, right? But when the room drops to zero and it seems like no one's paying attention to you, can you still stand in your I am? That's hard for people. Some people have a hard time showing up to the work because no one's paying attention to them. Then there's a moment where people pay attention, and then perhaps they go back to their busy lives, and or they reject you altogether. And you end up, as I do these days, in rooms of empty people, talking to the internet in a room that has 0 people in it. Are you confident enough? Are you confident enough to stand alone? 0 people watching, 1 person watching, doesn't matter to me because I'm confident in standing alone. I like myself. I love myself. I know that I'm speaking for what is right and good in the world. So it doesn't matter if I'm watched by people 1, 2, 3. I have an energetic wellness that is not dependent upon other people. But there are so many people that I coach and work with that the moment the room goes to 1 person or tanks to 0 people, they'll end the live as if their words didn't matter. There are people in my community who do this. If it goes to 0 and no one's paying attention anymore, they deflate in their confidence. And it's just kind of like there's no reason to call for ceasefire anymore. There's no reason to heal the people because nobody's watching me. That shit's so weird. Because your message and what you have to say and put out into the world should not be predicated or dependent upon what someone else feels or does. Maybe they had to go back to a job they hate, right? Maybe they had to flush the toilet and wipe their ass. Maybe they had to get in the shower. Maybe their kids started crying. Maybe they have to teach a lesson. Whatever. But your message should not be dependent upon other people. Find some yellow. There are yellow little plants outside sprouting up through the grass. That yellow, I've trained myself to remind myself that yellow is a color of clarity. Yellow is a color of creativity. Yellow reminds me that I can manifest whatever I want in this life. No matter what, no matter who. Okay? So we use colors. There's also yellow on the flag that's hanging in Studio C. We have 3 studios now in the house. We got the main Studio A, we got Studio B, and we got Studio C. And I can see the yellow in that flag. Yellow, because I programmed myself, reminds me to stay clear. Yellow reminds me to stay true to my manifestation. Yellow reminds me to stay active and creative. We also ask our community to tap into collective work and responsibility. Remember, responsibility for me means the ability to respond to the things that happen to me in my life, to be able to respond to the energies that happen around me in my life. I can also eat bananas, oats, yellow squash, peppers, lemons, pineapple, and mango. And while I'm eating those things, I can think about all the confidence I want to increase in my life. Now, scientifically, do mangoes have the ability to make me more confident? No. But focusing on my confidence while eating the mango and really paying attention to what's coming up for me, and most importantly, today's affirmation, what I want to do. What are you doing? Like we talked about earlier. What are you doing And what do you want to do with your life? I do live streams for love. I do actively call for ceasefire. I do show up in life. I do encourage, equip, and empower. I do. I do sing amazing interpretations of love songs. I do drink my water and mind my business. I do love. For the crystal people, tiger's eye, citrine, yellow jasper, and septarian are all wonderful crystals to increase your I do. I will tell you this though, there are tons of people on the planet who are surrounded by crystals whose lives are shit. So you can use the tiger's eye, the citrine, yellow jasper, and septarian to conjure prayers about what you're going to do. But I promise you, there are people who have rocks that are way bigger. There are people with very large crystals and rocks whose lives are absolutely shitty. So it may not be the rocks. It may not be the crystals that creates for you a happy life. It may be you affirming over yourself what you do. It may be you growing in your confidence and your energetic wellness. Just to land, and I know we're a little over today, but I had a lot to say, and I take nothing of it back because we're not in a healed world, and we certainly don't live in a healed planet. So that means that there's more to say and speak up for. So I'm grateful for your participation today, great and small. When you are imbalanced in your solar plexus chakra, and some of y'all don't believe in this, even though you'll understand in a second that whether you believe in it or not, it's playing out in our lives. Some of you are pessimist. Very pessimistic about your dreams, very pessimistic about the dreams of others. You're the yeah, but people. I come to you with a brilliant business idea. I come to you with a wonderful business plan. I could come to you just talking positively about my day. I say things like, it's a wonderful day. This is the day that love has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. You say, yeah, but it's raining. I say to you, this is the day that love has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. You say, yeah, but I don't have enough money. I say, this is the day that love is made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I haven't gotten laid in a while. Yeah, but. You yeah, but people. Pessimistic. Here's another one. Those of you who are insecure about yourself. And trust, folks, we all have inner security. We all have inner insecurity. I'm insecure about a bunch of things. I'm not trying to stay there. I'm not trying to be insecure for another 30 years. But a lot of people are very insecure about themselves. We could talk about what that looks like, but we live it. Being afraid to reach out beyond our comfort zone because we don't trust ourselves. I talked often in here about how we have a saying here in our community through Adrienne Murray Brown about moving at the speed of trust. It's impossible to move at the speed of trust in your life. It's impossible to build your dream if you do not trust yourself. It's just not gonna start. And this goes into my personal coaching practice because some people do not trust themselves to coach with me. Like I told y'all yesterday, there are people who want to take vocal lessons with me, but they've heard me sing. So they don't want to coach with me because they're insecure about who they are. Some of you, when you're imbalanced in your solar plexus, you're insecure about your material needs. You're afraid that your needs won't be met. You're afraid that you won't have the strength and the courage to meet your needs. That'll imbalance you. Feeling like you're not taken care of, feeling like you don't have enough, that will cause you to spin out. You'll have anxiety and stress because you are insecure and your material needs are not met. These are all things that I've experienced in my life. These are all things that can creep in on any of us from time to time. It's important that we meet that imbalance with balance. And this is where we land today, a little bit over. The good news is that you don't have to be pessimistic. The good news is that you don't have to be insecure. The good news is that you don't have to feel like you don't have enough. Okay? You can tap into confidence for yourself. You can tap into optimism. You can believe that positive and good things are coming to you and for you. You can tap into this thing called wholeness. Okay? People who are whole, as I am, do not allow people who are in pieces to yap, 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 yap in their ear all day. Okay? Like I said, there's a line around the block of people who want to tell me their problems. Okay? When you're ready to increase your confidence to handle those situations, when you're ready to have a positive expectation and be optimistic about your future and have that conversation, when you're ready to meet me in my wholeness, there are people who can't even talk to me daily because they are not whole. They're going through their stuff and they know Dr. Flo doesn't want to hear about it. And it's not that you're not worthy of being listened to. It's just like, so you told me for the last hour on the phone. This happened in the past. Y'all don't get that much time from me anymore. But you just told me for the last hour about your problems. What are you going to do to fix that for yourself? How are you going to lean into me in the community to help? Most people haven't gone that far. They're just used to complaining about their beautiful lives. It's wild. But you will come into wholeness. You will come into accepting yourself. I've accepted myself. I've accepted myself. My selfishness, my sassiness, the fact that I can be a raving bitch. I've accepted that about myself. The fact that I passionately speak online and can clear a room. I'm telling you, y'all, nobody can clear a room quite like Dr. Flo. Okay? Especially on certain platforms. But once you come into wholeness, and once you accept yourself as you are, there will be a calm. There will be a blessed calm in the midst of your storms. Like I said, some of you don't believe in this, and that's okay. I'm not a convincer. I am a beacon of hope for those who had suicidal ideation for decades like me. I'm a beacon of hope for those who want to quit their jobs and do what they really have been called to do. I'm a beacon of hope for the children, women, and men of Palestine who have no one talking about them enough. I'm a beacon of hope for my damn self. And that's good. That's good. Because as the great prophetess of the past said, Whitney Houston, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Do not let them hold you back. Do not let them hold you down. Do not hold yourself back. Do not hold yourself down. Do. The one thing that shuts the mouths of all of my haters, and trust me, they have to shut up or put up. The one thing that shuts up all of my haters is that I do. It may take me a little time to do, but I do. And they can talk all they want. They can ice cream so good. They can rose you on TikTok. They can, hey, Dr. Flo, how you doing? They can do all of that. They can do all of that. But the only thing that is going to hush the mouths of those naysayers, near and far, is showing up and doing. And once you think you've done enough, then you gotta do more. Just when you think you've done enough, life will ask you to do more. And so, if you're out there today and you're looking for the confidence and the courage to do more, to take up more space, to be fully lived and expressed, loved and lovable, you can go to Love in Action Network at lovedandlovable.org. Very simple website with free memberships for those who want to increase in particular areas. Let me read some of the areas in which we increase people or seek to increase people daily, depending on their participation. And once again, I'm not here to convince you of your freedom. You either want it or you don't. Here are some areas of encouragement for you. We encourage every day here through affirmations. We encourage singer-songwriters. We encourage you in your relationships. We encourage you in your astrology. We encourage you in spiritual matters. We encourage you with programs like this, the Daily Boost. We encourage you with social media chatter and talking about the trends and things of social media to help you lift your message. There's no one out there, including the young people coming behind us, who will not have to platform themselves on social media and tell their stories. We help with that here. We also do small business talk. We got a program by Tara called Goal Getter, where members of our community, myself included, intermittently tap in on our goals for the year and the things we want to accomplish in a loved and lovable environment. We co-work and body double here on the days when we're not inspired and we need to be in a room with other people who believe in our dreams. We co-work here. We support people in their emotional intelligence. I have a mobile book club that's running about 3 books at the same time. One is called No Bad Parts, that teaches us to not separate ourselves from who we are. And another book that we're reading right now is How God Changes the Brain. An exploration in neurotheology, because a lot of us have realized that a God who can't stop bombs from being dropped is not a powerful God at all. So we have those conversations as well. There's also a Law of Attraction room. There's a Dr. Flo focus group for those who want to give their opinions. People give me opinions every day that I don't want. People tell me opinions that I don't need or want every day. But if you are a person with a lot of extra opinions about how I live my life and what I do, and you want to make the project better in your own special way, there's a focus group for that. There's a program called Unfuckwithable with Flo, where I teach people how to be unfuckwithable. Like I said, I do my life's work, so I'm very unfuckwithable. I sing my ass off every day, and I speak up for love and stand for love with receipts every day. None of y'all talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Talk to me gentle, and talk to me nice, because I do it, and because of that, I'm unfuckwithable. Like, none of y'all can tell me. Y'all could pull all of your support, and I'd be like, oh well, girl, have a happy life. I hit people with that all the time, because people play in my DMs on social media, Instagram, like every day. I'll say what the price of my services is, and they'll still come into my DM and ask me, and I'll send them a link to the prices of my services, and they still act crazy. I hit them with the have a nice life, and I never look back. We have conversations here about no back parts, as I told you. We have conversations about small business tech. We have conversations about human design if you're looking to go deeper into your personal understanding of who you are. We have conversations in our network about AI and where that's going and how that's going to probably take your job from you, so you should be prepared. We have conversations with instrumentalists. We have an ask and offer space for people to ask and offer their help. We have a sacral room for people who like to talk about the things that go bump in the night and sexual pleasure. We have a crossover group, which I'm going to actually close because we're already in 2024 now. And we also have a creative artist room and also creative talk. I personally host about 36 different conversations to grow you. And unless you're out there in the world hosting 36 conversations of your own around love and encouraging people, you can't really talk to me about anything unless you're actually here to encourage me. And some of you, are here with your own agendas, and that's okay too. Okay? But we are unfuckwithable when we stand in our power. I'm waiting for some of you to come back, as people do in the past. Like, people have done this in the past. Some of y'all will come back and you will act like the kindness that you did for me in this moment made my entire life. Number one, that shit's weird. The idea that you can make or break someone. I see you all, the way that you will give me help and then pull it back. The ways in which you'll give support or attention and care and then pull it back. That's you. That's you. Loved and lovable. And you'll be in a line of people who donated to me in the 80s who are coming back in 2024 saying, remember when I helped you, Dr. Flo? And I'll say, remember when I thanked you and how weird you are right now about not being still in the mission or on your own personal loved and lovable assignment? It's funny, ain't it? That's why this week's theme is laughter. Thank you to all the Love in Action members who were in today. Thank you to all the Love in Action members who were in and out today. Trust me, in the same ways that you are in and out of my life, I will be in and out of yours. I love it. I love it. In the same way that you all are in and out, and in and out, and in and out of my life, I'm deeply committed to being in and out, and in and out, and in and out of yours. I'm deeply committed to that. You have no idea how committed I am to being in and out, in and out, and in and out of your lives. All right? For all of you out there who are busy people, oh, Poppy, thank you, Poppy. For those of you who are busy, for those of you who are overwhelmed, for those of you who are, whatever your excuses are when I see you around, either on the internet or whatever, just know, I'll land there. I'm very committed to everyone being happy, healthy, and free from all suffering. And I'm also committed to treating you all the exact same ways that you treat me. And I mean the exact same ways. I'm going to go out and do my shows. I'm going to go out and connect with new people. But for those of you who are a little closer than the others, just know that Dr. Flo will always treat you with the same intensity. That's why I don't have many friends and family around. Like, why does this guy sing like that? And why is he so powerful like that? And there's not a lot of people around him, because I treat them the way they treat me. They disappear, I disappear. They stop showing up, I stop showing up. And I'm committed to it. I'm committed to it. May you be happy for yourself. May you be healthy for yourself. And may you be free of all suffering today. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of all suffering. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of all suffering. May you recognize that a bigger love is growing within us all. And may you allow that love to change how you do and what you do in the world. I'm about to go, because I work for myself, and take a wonderful 25-minute stroll around the neighborhood and take in the fresh air of the day. I recommend that you do the same. Do something that makes you happy today. But if you are one of those people who's wondering, like I have in the past, why life is not working out for you, I want to encourage you to look for the good in your circumstance, in your situation. Do not let these people play you at all. Stand up for what is right and what is good, and I will see you all around the network. Take care. Stay loved and lovable. Stay in your joy. Y'all, they took my money. They took my house. They took their support. They took my stages. They took my food. They took everything. But the one thing they cannot take is the thing that makes them the most mad. The one thing that you or anybody else will never be able to take from me is my joy. And until next time, continue to joyfully overcome. I'm Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard, but what I know. You're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your days. I'll see you around in the membership